started as a joke, a blind date designed to shame the maid's daughter. But the punchline came when her date turned out to be the billionaire's son who would change everything. They thought it would be a joke, a cruel game played in the glow of a mansion's lights, where power hides behind money and dignity has no price tag. Anna Miller, the maid's daughter, was never meant to be seen, only used. But one night, a lie meant to humiliate her collided with the truth, and with the one person they should never have involved, the billionaire's son. What began as a prank would shatter reputations, test loyalties, and expose who these people really are when no one's watching. This is the story of how a single act of cruelty changed everything. And before I forget, where are you watching from today? Leave a comment below. Enjoy the story. The weight of a silver tray was nothing compared to the weight of their stares. Anna moved through the noise, a ghost in a black and white uniform. The Anderson family's birthday party was a sea of glittering dresses and sharp laughter. She was invisible to most of the guests. But she was not invisible to everyone. At 17, Anna knew her place. It was usually at the back of her elite high school classroom. It was never on the lawn of a mansion like this one. Tonight, her place was beside her mother, Mary, helping the catering staff. Mrs. Anderson, her mother's boss, had insisted. "It will be good experience," she'd said. Mary knew it just meant free labor for her son Tyler's lavish 17th birthday party. "Keep your head down, Anna," Mary whispered, taking the empty glasses from Anna's tray. Mary's face was kind, but her eyes were tired. "These people, they live in a different world. We just visit." "I know, Mom," Anna said. She tried to smile. Anna was blonde, with a quiet strength in her eyes that saw everything. She saw the birthday boy, Tyler Anderson, holding court by the pool. He was flanked by his friends. Anna recognized them all from school. They were the ones who set the social rules. They were the ones who never spoke to her. One of them, Jessica Miller, laughed. It was a sharp, high sound that cut through the music. She pointed with a manicured finger straight at Anna. "Oh, look," Jessica drawled, loud enough for her group to hear. "Tyler, your mom even hired entertainment." Tyler smirked. He had a cruel streak that he saved for people who couldn't fight back. "She's just the help, Jess. Don't be mean." "I'm not being mean," Jessica said, her eyes glittering with boredom. "I'm just bored. This party is predictable." Anna felt the heat rise in her cheeks. She turned quickly, heading back toward the kitchen. She hated this. She hated the feeling of being a decoration. Her grandfather would have been ashamed. He was a war veteran, a man of deep, quiet dignity. "Dignity, Anna," he used to tell her, "is the one thing nobody can take from you. You can only give it away." She clutched the tray tighter. She would not give it away. Jessica watched Anna retreat. A slow, cruel idea began to form. This was better than predictable. "You know," Jessica whispered to Tyler, "I just thought of a new party game." She pulled Tyler close. Her words were poison in his ear. "See that quiet, nervous girl?" Tyler looked at Anna. "The maid's daughter? What about her? And you see him?" Jessica nodded toward the edge of the vast garden. A lone figure stood in the shadows, staring at the stars, far from the noise. "Ethan Hale." Tyler's eyes widened. "Robert Hale's son? He actually came?" "My father insisted," Jessica said. "He wants to do business with Hale." "Ethan looks just as bored as I am." "So?" Tyler asked. "So," Jessica said, her smile sharp. "Let's introduce them. Let's make this party memorable." Tyler finally understood. The cruelty of it lit up his face. "That is brilliant. She thinks she's one of us. Let's show her where she belongs." Anna was clearing dishes near the French doors when they approached. Jessica put on a mask of fake sweetness. Tyler hung back, trying to look casual. "Anna? Right?" Jessica asked. Her voice was smooth, like honey. Anna froze. Jessica Miller had never said her name before. "Yes. Hi. I'm Jessica. This is Tyler." "I know," Anna said quietly. "Happy birthday, Tyler." "Thanks," Tyler muttered, already looking impatient. Jessica leaned in, as if sharing a wonderful secret. "Listen, this is going to sound a little crazy, but there's a guest here tonight who wanted to meet you." Anna's stomach tightened. This was wrong. "Meet me?" "Yes. He's very important. And he's shy," Jessica said, laying the trap. "He saw you working. He thought you had poise." She almost choked on the word. "He asked Tyler if he could arrange an introduction. You know, privately." Anna looked from Jessica's smiling face to Tyler's bored smirk. She knew this was a prank. It had to be. I don't think so, Anna said, stepping back. I have to work. No, really, Jessica insisted. She grabbed Anna's arm. Her grip was surprisingly strong. He's waiting for you. In the garden. By the willow tree. If it's a joke, it's not funny, Anna said. Her voice was small. It's not a joke, Jessica said, pretending to be offended. We're trying to do something nice for you. He's a special guest. He's just different. He doesn't like these big crowds. Anna hesitated. Doubt is a powerful weed. What if it was true? What if one person in this glittering crowd saw her as more than a uniform? The hope was small. It was fragile. But it was there. It made her feel foolish. Please don't make him wait, Jessica urged. He's right over there. It'll only take a minute. Tyler, watching this, felt a flash of impatience. Just go, will you? It's Ethan. He's waiting. He shouldn't have said the name. But Anna didn't know which Ethan. Go, Jessica ordered, shoving her gently. Anna looked back toward the kitchen. Her mother was busy. It would only be a minute. Against her better judgment, she started walking. The moment Anna was out of earshot, Tyler and Jessica collapsed in quiet laughter. This is going to be amazing, Tyler said, pulling out his phone. Come on, Jessica said, grabbing his hand. We'll cut through the hedge. We need to get a good angle. When Ethan Hale sees her in that stupid apron, her face is going to be priceless. They ran, ducking behind a row of tall, sculpted hedges. They found a spot with a clear view of the willow tree. Tyler started recording. The garden was quiet. The party music was a distant drumbeat. Anna walked across the soft grass. The air smelled like jasmine. She felt deeply, profoundly stupid. She was a maid's daughter in a uniform, walking to a blind date in a billionaire's garden. She smoothed her apron. Her hands were shaking. She told herself to turn back, to run to the kitchen and hide. But she kept walking. She had to see. She had to know. She reached the large willow tree. A boy was standing there. His back was to her. He was tall, dressed in a simple dark suit. No tie. He was looking at the moon. Anna stopped. She suddenly couldn't breathe. Hello, she said. Her voice was barely a whisper. The boy turned around. It was Ethan Hale. Anna knew him. Everyone at her school knew him, even though he didn't attend. He was the son of Robert Hale, a man who owned half the city. He was rumored to be brilliant. He was rumored to be a recluse. He was definitely not the kind of person who would ask to meet her. Ethan looked at her. His eyes were not cruel. They were just confused. I'm sorry, Ethan said. His voice was polite. I was just getting some air. Can I help you? The blood drained from Anna's face. The trap snapped shut. She could hear it now. A tiny giggle from the hedges. The humiliation was instant. It was cold and sharp. They had set her up. They hadn't just used a guest. They had used the guest. The one person here who was more famous than their own families. They wanted him to laugh at her, to dismiss her. Oh, Anna said. She felt the tears sting her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. I see. She wrapped her arms around herself. This was a joke. Ethan frowned. He had heard the giggle, too. He was used to people acting strangely around him. But this was different. This girl looked broken. What joke? Ethan asked. It doesn't matter, Anna said, her voice shaking. She turned to leave. She just wanted to disappear. Wait. Ethan took a step toward her. He was not in on the prank. He genuinely had no idea what was happening. Who sent you? They did. Anna nodded toward the hedges. She was done protecting them. From the darkness, Jessica's voice called out. Hey, Ethan. Did your date show up? We found her for you. Tyler laughed. We told her you were impressed. The phone's camera lens caught the light. They were filming. Ethan Hale looked at the hedges. He looked back at Anna. And in one terrible, clear moment, he understood. He understood the casual cruelty, the boredom, the complete lack of empathy. He saw it from his father's business partners all the time. He hated it. Anna stood frozen. She was waiting for the final blow, for Ethan to join the laughter. But he didn't laugh. He looked at her, at the cheap black fabric of her uniform, at the tremor in her hands. Anna took a deep breath. She thought of her grandfather. You control how you stand. She lifted her chin. The tears were gone. Her eyes were clear. She did not look at the hedges. She looked directly at Ethan Hale. I am very sorry to have bothered you, Mr. Hale, she said. Her voice was formal. It was steady. I was told you wished to see me. I see now that was false information. She gave a small, dignified nod. Good night. She turned to walk away. What's your name? Ethan asked. His voice was sharp. It cut through the night. Anna stopped. She turned back. Anna, who told you I was waiting? He pressed. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. A flicker of defiance sparked in Anna's eyes. Why? So you can all have a bigger laugh tomorrow? No, thank you. My grandfather fought in a war. He taught me that you can't control the battle, but you can control how you stand. I'm standing. Now, if you'll excuse me. She began to walk away again. The prank had backfired. Jessica and Tyler were silent. This wasn't funny. Anna wasn't crying. Ethan wasn't laughing. He looked angry. Wait, Ethan said again. Anna stopped, but didn't turn. They're fools, Ethan said, his voice quiet but intense. He walked past her, directly toward the hedge. Right, Tyler? Jessica. The recording stopped. Two figures emerged from the shadows. Jessica looked furious. Tyler looked terrified. Ethan, man, it was just a joke, Tyler stammered. Ethan Hale looked at his classmate. His gaze was cold. You set her up. You used me to humiliate her. We just thought. Jessica began. You thought what? Ethan snapped. That this was classy? That this was fun? He looked back at Anna, who stood watching, trapped in the middle of the lawn. The joke was over. But what was beginning was something far more dangerous. Ethan Hale, the boy who never spoke to anyone, looked back at the girl in the maid's uniform. He was genuinely, truly impressed. And he was angry. You reveal who you are when you think no one is watching, Ethan said to Tyler and Jessica. But I was watching. He turned his back on them completely. He walked over to Anna. I apologize for them, he said. You don't have to, Anna said. You didn't do it. I'm part of their world, Ethan said. It seems I am, anyway. He looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time. What did your grandfather do? He was a Marine, Anna said, surprised by the question. He received a medal. He said it was just for doing his job. Ethan nodded. Dignity. Anna stared at him. The billionaire's son was not laughing at her. He was standing with her. The prank hadn't just failed. It had backfired in a way Jessica and Tyler could never have imagined. Anna's heart was a drum against her ribs. She was trapped. She was a statue in the middle of a rich family's garden. Three of the most powerful teenagers in her world were locked in a silent battle, and she was the battlefield. Jessica Miller's face was pale with rage. Her perfect, popular world had just cracked. Ethan, you don't understand. It was just a stupid high school thing. A high school thing, Ethan repeated. The words were flat. He looked at Tyler. Is that what you call this, Anderson? You host a party just to humiliate the people who work for you. Tyler flinched. Having Ethan Hale disappointed in him was far worse than getting caught by his parents. Robert Hale and his father had business dealings. This was bad. No, man, of course not, Tyler said, trying to find his footing. We didn't know you'd. We just thought it was funny. It wasn't funny, Ethan said. Anna watched this. A small, cold part of her brain registered the shift in power. The bullies were being bullied, but it brought her no comfort. She just wanted to leave. She took a step backward, into the shadows. I have to get back to work. Her voice was quiet, but it broke the tension. Ethan turned to her. His anger seemed to an in-person on her. His expression softened, just slightly. He saw her dignity. He saw the strength it took for her to stand there. Yes, he said. You should go. He was giving her an escape. Anna did not need to be told twice. She turned and walked, not ran, back toward the glowing lights of the mansion. She did not look back. Each step was a victory. She kept her back straight. She kept her head high. She did not let them see her tremble. The moment she was gone, the quiet fury returned to Ethan's face. Get your phone, he said to Tyler. What? Your phone. The one you were recording with. Give it to me, Ethan commanded. Ethan, come on, I already deleted it. Tyler lied. Ethan took a step closer. He was taller than Tyler. He did not raise his voice. He didn't have to. Give me the phone, Tyler, or I will get your father, and then I will get my father, and I will tell them both how you and Jessica treat your guests. The threat was clear. It was not about friendship. It was about business. It was about family alliances. It was the only language Tyler understood. Tyler's hand shook as he pulled the phone from his pocket. He unlocked it and handed it over. Ethan navigated to the video gallery. There it was. A 30-second clip of Anna walking to the tree. He pressed play. He heard Jessica's high-pitched whisper. Oh, this is perfect. She's actually looking for him. Ethan's jaw tightened. He held the phone up for Jessica and Tyler to see. This is who you are, he said. He pressed the delete button. Then he went into the recently deleted folder and erased it from there, too. He handed the phone back to Tyler. "We're done here," Ethan said. "Ethan, wait," Jessica said, her voice desperate. She was used to controlling boys, not being dismissed by them. "Don't be like this. It was for you. We thought you were bored." Ethan looked at her. It was a long, cold look. "I'm bored by this. I'm bored by you." He turned and walked away. Not back to the party, but toward the front gates of the estate. He was leaving. Jessica and Tyler stood alone in the garden. The party music drifted over the hedge, sounding hollow and stupid. "He hates us," Tyler said. His voice was thin. "My dad is going to kill me." "Don't be dramatic," Jessica snapped, her fear turning back to anger. "It's not your fault. It's hers." Tyler looked at her, confused. "What? How is this her fault? We're the ones who—" "She embarrassed us," Jessica hissed. "In front of Ethan Hale. She played the victim. She made us look like monsters." We kind of were, Jess." "Shut up, Tyler." She shoved his shoulder. "This isn't over. That little maid. She thinks she's better than us. She thinks she's special now, just because Ethan Hale defended her. We'll see about that." Jessica's mind was already working. She had been humiliated. She would not let that stand. She would fix this. She would put Anna back in her place. Anna did not go to the kitchen. Not right away. She slipped through a side door. It led to a small, dark hallway. It was a service corridor. It smelled like floor polish and old wood. She leaned her back against the wall. The silver tray was still in her hands. She set it down on the floor. Then she slid down the wall until she was sitting on the cold tiles. She brought her knees to her chest. She finally let herself shake. The humiliation washed over her. It was hot and suffocating. They had filmed her. They had laughed. She had walked right into it. "Stupid, stupid, stupid," she whispered to the darkness. She thought of her mother, working so hard, always so careful. "We just visit," her mother had said. Anna had forgotten. For one foolish second, she had hoped. And Ethan Hale. That was the part her mind couldn't understand. He had not laughed. He had been angry. He had defended her. He had looked at her. And he had seen her. He saw her grandfather's dignity in her. A tear escaped. She wiped it away, angry at her own weakness. It didn't matter. He was gone. The moment was over. Now, she just had to survive the rest of the night. And then she had to survive school on Monday, where Jessica and Tyler would surely have their own version of the story. She heard footsteps. She quickly stood up, wiping her face. She grabbed the tray. The door from the kitchen swung open. It was her mother, Mary. "Anna, there you are. I was wondering where." Mary stopped. She saw her daughter's face. The red-rimmed eyes. The tremor in her lip. A mother knows. "What happened?" Mary's voice was instantly sharp. "Who said something to you?" "Nothing, Mom. I'm fine," Anna lied. I'm tired." "Don't lie to me, Anna," Mary said. She stepped into the hall. She touched Anna's cheek. "You've been crying. Was it Mrs. Anderson?" "No. It was some of the kids from school. Tyler Anderson. And Jessica Miller." Mary's face hardened. She knew those names. She knew those families. They were the ones who left $1,000 jackets on the floor and treated the staff like furniture. "What did they do?" Mary asked. Anna couldn't tell her the whole story. It was too humiliating. "They were just making fun of me. For working here. It's not a big deal." "It is a big deal to me," Mary said, her voice fierce. "You are worth 10 of them. You know that, don't you?" "I know, Mom." Mary looked at her daughter. She saw the same strength she saw in Anna's grandfather. But she also saw his vulnerability. "Your grandfather," Mary said, "always told me that the world is divided into two kinds of people. The ones who build and the ones who break. Those kids, they're breakers, Anna. Don't ever let them break you." She hugged her daughter tight. "Now go wash your face. We have 10 minutes left. Then we go home." "Okay, Mom." Anna felt a little stronger. She was not alone. She had her mother. She had her grandfather's memory. She went to the small staff bathroom. She splashed cold water on her face. She looked at herself in the cheap, warped mirror. The girl who looked back was not a victim. She was a survivor. She was her grandfather's relative. She took a deep breath. She fixed her uniform. She was ready. She walked back into the kitchen. The head caterer looked up. "Anna, can you take this?" He pointed to a small, personal tray. "It's for the guest who's leaving." He requested it himself. "Who?" Anna asked. "The Hale kid. He's out front. In a black car. He said he just wanted a bottle of water and—" The caterer checked his note. 2 of those lemon cookies. Said he'd wait. Anna's blood ran cold. Me? You want me to take it? Yes. You're heading out anyway, right? Just drop it at the car on your way. It's the black sedan by the main gate. You can't miss it. This was a nightmare. He was still here. Why was he still here? She wanted to say no. She wanted to hide. But it was her job. Okay, she said. Her voice was flat. She took the small tray. 1 bottle of water. 2 lemon cookies on a small porcelain plate. She walked out the front door. The noise of the party faded behind her. The air was cool. The long, circular driveway was lined with expensive cars. Far down, near the massive iron gates, a sleek black sedan sat in the shadows. Its engine was idling. Anna walked on the gravel path. The sound of her own footsteps was too loud. She approached the car. The back window was tinted. She couldn't see inside. She tapped lightly on the glass. The window slid down with a quiet, electronic hum. Ethan Hale was sitting inside. The car's interior light cast a soft glow on his face. He looked older in here. More serious. I thought you left, Anna said. I was waiting, Ethan said. For the cookies? Anna asked, confused. No. For you. Anna stared at him. Why? I wanted to make sure you were all right, he said. It was a simple, honest statement. I'm fine, Anna said. It was the same lie she told her mother. It sounded just as false. Ethan looked at the tray. Are those for me? Yes. The water and the cookies. He took the bottle of water. He looked at the cookies. I don't actually like lemon cookies. I needed a reason to get you out here. Away from them. He looked past her, toward the house. And away from your mother. How did you know? I saw you with her, Ethan said. A few minutes ago. In the service hall. I was on my way out and saw the door open. He had seen that, too. He had seen her break. He had seen her mother comfort her. Anna felt a new wave of shame. Don't, Ethan said, as if reading her mind. Don't be embarrassed. You did nothing wrong. I have to go, Anna said. She held out the plate. Please, take the cookies. I have to return the plate. Ethan took the plate. He set it on the seat beside him. Your grandfather. The Marine. What was his name? Robert, Anna said. Robert Miller. My mom's dad. Robert Miller. Ethan repeated, as if memorizing it. He taught you well. Anna looked at this boy. This billionaire's son. He lived in a world she could not imagine. Yet he was the only person all night, other than her mother, who had spoken to her with respect. Why are you being so nice to me? Anna asked. Why is everyone else being so cruel? He countered. He leaned forward slightly. Those people in there, he gestured him toward the party. They live on the surface. They talk about money and cars and other people. It's all they know. It's boring. And it's weak. He looked at her. You are not weak, Anna. You stood there, in that uniform, and you had more power than either of them. They knew it. That's why they were so angry. Anna didn't know what to say. He saw her as strong. My driver is waiting, Ethan said. I have to go. He paused. School? You go to Northwood Prep with them? Anna nodded. On a scholarship. I go to a different school. But I know Northwood. He seemed to be thinking. Monday is going to be difficult for you. Jessica and Tyler will not let this go. They will twist the story. I know, Anna said. I can handle it. You shouldn't have to, Ethan said. He reached for his wallet. Anna instantly recoiled. No, don't. No, it's not. Ethan fumbled. He pulled out a small, plain white card. It's not money. It's my number. My personal number. Not the one my father's office gives out. He held it out to her. If they give you trouble, he said, I want you to call me. Or text me. I mean it. I can help. Anna looked at the card. Taking it felt dangerous. It felt like crossing a line. I don't need protecting, Ethan, she said. I know, he said. This isn't for protection. It's for support. There's a difference. Slowly, she reached out and took the card. Her fingers brushed his. It was a tiny spark in the dark. Thank you, she said. Good night, Anna, he said. Good night, Ethan. The window slid up. The sedan moved silently down the driveway and disappeared through the gates. Anna stood alone, holding a small white card. She walked back to the kitchen, returned the empty tray, and found her mother. Ready? Mary asked. I'm ready, Anna said. As they walked to the bus stop in the dark, Anna slipped the card into her pocket. She had survived the party. But as she thought of Ethan's warning, she knew the real battle would begin on Monday. The bus ride home from the party had been quiet. Mary, Anna's mother, had a deep understanding of silence. She knew the difference between tired silence and wounded silence. She held Anna's hand, her own calloused fingers a warm, strong presence in the dark. Sunday was a long, gray void. Anna tried to do her homework. She tried to read, but her mind kept replaying the scene in the garden. She felt the sting of Jessica's laughter. She felt the shock of Ethan's defense. She kept the small, white card in her pocket. It felt heavy, like a stone. A promise or a burden, she wasn't sure which. Monday morning arrived like a summons. Northwood Prep was not a school. It was a fortress of brick and old money. Anna always felt small walking through its massive oak doors. She was a scholarship kid, a rounding error in the school's endowment. Her rule was simple: be invisible. But as she walked down the main hall, she knew invisibility was no longer an option. The whispers started first. She was used to being ignored. She was not used to being stared at. Students she had passed for 2 years without a glance now looked directly at her. They stared, then looked away, then whispered to their friends. A few boys laughed. It was a cold, prickly feeling. It was worse than being invisible. This was being an exhibit. She reached her locker, and they were waiting. Jessica Miller was leaning against the neighboring locker, flanked by Tyler Anderson. Tyler looked uncomfortable. Jessica looked like she owned the world. "There she is," Jessica announced. Her voice was loud. It carried. The hallway quieted. "The stalker." Anna's blood turned to ice. She gripped her book strap. "What did you say?" "You heard me." Jessica sneered, enjoying the attention. It was pathetic, Anna. Truly. Following Ethan Hale into the garden? Throwing yourself at him like that. The lie was breathtaking. It was so complete, so perfectly backward, that Anna couldn't speak for a moment. Jessica took her silence as weakness. She stepped closer. "He felt so bad for you. He told us how uncomfortable you made him. He actually had to leave the party just to get away from you. It was so embarrassing. We saw the whole thing," Tyler added, finding his courage. He couldn't meet Anna's eyes. He looked at the floor. "You were really bothering him. We had to go out there and, save him." The crowd of students around them was growing. They were watching the show. Anna looked at Tyler's shoes. Then she looked up, past Jessica, at the faces in the hall. They were curious. They were judgmental. They were ready to believe the worst. "That's not what happened," Anna said. Her voice was low. "Oh, really?" Jessica laughed. "It's her word against ours. Who do you think they're going to believe, Anna? The maid's daughter? Or us?" It was the perfect trap. Anna looked at Jessica. She thought of her grandfather. "You control how you stand." She thought of Ethan. "They're weak." She felt the small, stiff card in her pocket. She turned to her locker and calmly entered her combination. The click of the lock turning sounded like a gunshot in the quiet hall. "You're pathetic," Anna said. Her voice was not loud, but it was clear. Jessica's smile faltered. She expected tears. She expected yelling. She did not expect calm. "What did you call me?" Anna pulled her history book from the locker. She turned to face them. "You know what happened," Anna said, looking from Jessica to Tyler. "And I know what happened. And Ethan knows what happened." She paused, letting the words hang in the air. "And that's enough for me." She shut her locker door. She did not slam it. She looked at Jessica. "Move." Jessica was so surprised that she actually took a step back. Anna walked away. She walked through the parted sea of students. She felt their eyes on her back. It was the longest, hardest walk of her life. But she did not run. She made it to the girls' bathroom. She locked herself in a stall. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold her book. She did not cry. She was too angry. The lie was brilliant. It was perfectly cruel. It painted her as the aggressor. It painted them as the heroes, protecting their friend. It protected them from any fallout with Ethan, and it destroyed her reputation. She pulled the white card from her pocket. Just a name and a number. "Call me if they give you trouble." She wanted to. She wanted to text him. "They're lying about us. They're telling everyone I stalked you." But she stopped. Her thumb hovered over the screen of her cheap phone. If she contacted him now, what would it look like? She would be proving them right. A desperate girl, calling the rich boy who wanted nothing to do with her. She would be confirming the rumor. No, she couldn't use the number. This was her fight, not his. She put the card back in her pocket. She would stand. She would endure. The day was a trial by 1,000 cuts. In history class, someone had written Ethan Stalker on the corner of the whiteboard. The teacher saw it, frowned, and erased it without a word. In the cafeteria, Anna sat alone, as she always did. But today, her isolation was a spotlight. A group of girls at the table next to hers were talking, their voices deliberately loud. "Can you even imagine?" one girl said. She was a friend of Jessica's. "Showing up in that uniform? Like he would ever look at that." "I heard she's not all there, you know," another whispered. "She's on scholarship. My dad says they let just about anyone in these days for diversity. It's just sad. She's delusional." Anna kept her eyes on her textbook. She ate her sandwich. Every bite tasted like ash. She focused on the words on the page. She would not look up. She would not give them the satisfaction. She just had to make it to the end of the day. She stayed late in the library. She waited until the hallways were empty and the sports teams were practicing outside. She just wanted to go home. She was shelving a book when the headmistress, Mrs. Davies, approached her. Mrs. Davies was a tall, thin woman who always looked disappointed. "Miss Miller," she said. Her voice was flat. "A word, please." Anna's heart stopped. "They reported me." She followed Mrs. Davies to the ornate, wood-paneled office. The air smelled like old books and lemon polish. "Sit down, Anna." Anna sat on the edge of a hard leather chair. Her hands were folded in her lap. "I received a concern call this morning," Mrs. Davies said, looking at a note on her desk. "From Mrs. Anderson." Anna's stomach dropped. "Ma'am." She relayed a rather troubling story about an incident at her party on Saturday. "It involved you, her son, and young Mr. Hale." "It wasn't true," Anna said immediately. The words rushed out. What she said. "It's not what happened. They were the ones who." Mrs. Davies held up a thin hand. "I am aware that there are multiple sides to every story, Anna. And frankly, the social lives of my students are not my primary concern." She leaned forward. "However, the Hale family is very important to Northwood. We are, at this moment, finalizing a very generous donation from Mr. Robert Hale for the new science wing." This was it. The real stakes. It wasn't about truth. It was about money. "I cannot have disturbances," Mrs. Davies continued, "especially not involving the son of our most prominent benefactor. I don't want any trouble. Do you understand?" "I'm not the one making trouble," Anna whispered. "That is irrelevant," Mrs. Davies said, her voice turning sharp. "You are the common denominator, Miss Miller. You are the one on financial aid. The Andersons are a legacy family. The Hales are our future." The message was clear. "You do not matter. So, I am telling you, as your scholarship administrator," Mrs. Davies said, "you will stay away from Tyler Anderson. You will stay away from Jessica Miller. And you will certainly stay away from Ethan Hale. Do not speak to him. Do not look at him. Do not contact him. Am I clear?" It wasn't a question. It was an order. Anna felt the walls of the trap close in. They had lied. And now, the school was enforcing their lie. What if they? "Avoid them, Miss Miller. That is all. Your scholarship depends on a clean behavioral record. No drama. No incidents. Just quiet, excellent grades. Do you understand me?" "Yes, ma'am," Anna said. The words felt like stones in her mouth. "Good. You may go." Anna stood up. Her legs felt weak. She walked out of the office. The anger she had felt in the bathroom was gone. Now, it was just cold, heavy fear. They weren't just ruining her name. They were threatening her entire future. She did not take the bus. She walked. It was miles. She needed the cold air to clear her head. They had her trapped. If she defended herself, it was drama, and she would lose her scholarship. If she said nothing, they won. They had won. She thought of her grandfather. He had been in real battles. He had faced real enemies. This was just high school, but it felt just as hopeless. She finally reached her small, clean apartment just as the sun was setting. Her mother was in the kitchen, chopping vegetables for dinner. "Anna, you're late." "You walked?" Mary asked, wiping her hands on her apron. She turned, and her cheerful expression faded. "Anna, what is it? What happened?" Anna stood in the doorway. She looked at her mother, this woman who worked so hard, who endured so much, all for her. And the strength she had held on to all day, through the whispers and the lies and the threats, finally crumbled. She sat down hard at the small kitchen table, and she told her mother everything. She told her about the garden, the setup, Ethan's defense, the phone number. She told her about the hallway, the stalker rumor, and she told her about Mrs. Davies' office, the threat to her scholarship. Mary listened. She did not interrupt. Her face grew tighter, colder, with every word. The hand holding the kitchen knife was white-knuckled. When Anna was finished, the only sound was the ticking of the clock. Mary put the knife down. Very slowly. She threatened your scholarship, Mary said. It was not a question. Yes. She told me to stay away from everyone. That I'm. Drama. Mary untied her apron. She folded it and set it on the counter. Get your coat. What? What? Anna asked, wiping her eyes. We're going back to the school. Mom, no. Anna jumped up. It'll just make it worse. Mrs. Davies said. I do not care what Mrs. Davies said, Mary replied. Her voice was steel. Anna had never heard this voice before. I have cleaned the Anderson family's floors for 5 years. I have held my tongue while Jessica Miller's mother complained that I polished too loudly. I have smiled. And I have said yes, ma'am, until the words taste like poison. She looked at Anna. Her eyes were burning. But they will not do this to you. They will not take your future because their children are cruel. They will not call my daughter a liar. But it's our word against theirs. Anna cried. No one will believe us. Yes, Mary said. It is. And it is time we started speaking. This was not the tired, resigned woman from the party. This was not the woman who said, we just visit. This was a fighter. Mom, what are we going to do? Mary paused. She looked at her daughter. Your grandfather. He taught you about dignity. He taught me about fighting. You don't fight liars with anger, Anna. You fight them with the truth. And you fight them where they are weak. Where are they weak? Anna asked. They are terrified, Mary said. They are terrified of Ethan Hale. And they are even more terrified of his father. Anna's hand went to her pocket. To the card. I can't call him Mom. It'll look like I'm, like they said. The headmistress ordered me not to. You're not calling him, Mary said, grabbing her purse and keys. Not yet. Then what? First, we are going back to that school. We are going to see Mrs. Davies. And we are going to tell her the truth. And if she doesn't listen, Mary pulled open the apartment door. Then we find someone who will. The evening air was sharp and cold. The walk back to Northwood Prep was silent. Mary's steps were quick and determined. Anna had to hurry to keep up. The school, so imposing by day, looked like a sleeping beast at night. Only a few lights were on. Mom, what if she's not there? Anna asked, her voice small. She'll be there, Mary said. People like that always stay late. They think it makes them look important. They walked through the main doors, which were unlocked for the evening cleaning staff. Mary's shoes clicked on the polished marble floor. She walked with a purpose Anna had never seen before, not like a maid, but like a general. The light was on in Mrs. Davies' office. The headmistress was visible through the glass panel, her head bent over a stack of papers. She looked up, annoyed, when Mary knocked. She opened the door, her expression impatient. Yes? Can I help? Her eyes fell on Anna, standing just behind her mother. Her face hardened. Miss Miller, I believe I was perfectly clear with you this afternoon. You were, Mary said, stepping past the headmistress into the office. Anna followed, her heart pounding. Excuse me, Mrs. Davies said, offended by the intrusion. This is a private office. You cannot just. My name is Mary, Mary said, turning to face her. I am Anna's mother. We need to talk about my daughter's scholarship. Mrs. Davies stiffened. She was not used to being challenged, especially not by someone like Mary. She closed the door, a look of deep annoyance on her face. Mrs. Miller, is it? As I told Anna, this is an internal school matter. It has been handled. It has not, Mary said. Her voice was calm. It was the calmness of a deep, cold river. You threatened my daughter's future. You threatened it based on a lie told by 2 children. And you did it to protect a donation. Mrs. Davies's face paled, then flushed with anger. How dare you? What my students and their families choose to donate to this school is none of your concern. It is my concern when you use it as a weapon against my child, Mary said. Anna did not make drama. She was the victim of a cruel, humiliating prank. I have heard the other side of the story. Did you? Mary interrupted, her voice still quiet, but cutting. Did you ask Tyler Anderson and Jessica Miller to sit in that chair where my daughter sat? Did you ask them what they did? Or did you just take a phone call from Mrs. Anderson and decide to crush the easiest target? Anna is here on the school's generosity, Mrs. Davies shot back. That generosity comes with conditions. She must maintain an excellent academic record and a spotless behavioral one. Associating with, in this manner, with the Hales and the Andersons is not spotless. It is a disturbance. She did not associate, Mary said. She was working. At a party her boss insisted she work. She was tricked. She was lured into the garden by Jessica and Tyler. They told her Mr. Hale wanted to meet her. They filmed it for a joke. Mrs. Davies's expression flickered. Just for a second. This was new information. They did this, Mary continued, to be cruel. When it backfired, they lied to protect themselves. And you helped them. The headmistress looked away. She looked at her desk. She was a woman of systems, of rules. This was messy. Even if that is true, Mrs. Davies said, her voice tight, the situation remains the same. I have a problem. A very delicate problem. Robert Hale does not like complications. His donation is contingent on his family's privacy. If this prank becomes a bigger issue, if Ethan Hale is dragged into a public spectacle, you think we want a spectacle? Mary said, her voice full of disbelief. My daughter has been humiliated. She's been called a stalker. And you told her to be silent and take it. You told her to let them win. I told her to be discreet. Mrs. Davies snapped. I told her to stay away from them. That order stands. My primary duty is to the institution, Mrs. Miller, not to the hurt feelings of one student. The words hung in the air, cold and final. Anna felt her mother's hand find hers. Mary's grip was like iron. My father, Mary said, was a Marine. Anna's grandfather. He fought in a war for this country. He taught us that there is nothing more cowardly than an abuse of power. He taught us that institutions are only as good as the people who run them. She looked at Mrs. Davies with a mixture of pity and contempt. You have failed this institution, Mary said. You have failed my daughter. And you have failed yourself. Mrs. Davies stood up. I think you should leave. Now. We will, Mary said. She pulled Anna toward the door. And Mrs. Miller? Mrs. Davies called out. Remember my warning to Anna. Her scholarship is on the line. One more misstep, one more disturbance, and it will be revoked. You are threatening us, Mary stated. I am stating a fact, Mrs. Davies said. Good night. Mary pulled Anna into the hallway. She did not say a word. She walked past the empty lockers, through the grand, silent hall, and out into the cold night. They did not go home. They walked to a small, brightly lit coffee shop 2 blocks from the bus stop. It was warm inside. It smelled like burnt coffee and sugar. Mary ordered 2 teas. She sat across from Anna in a small booth. Anna was shaking. Mom, she's going to expel me. No, she's not, Mary said. She took a sip of her tea. Her hands were perfectly steady. But she said she's a coward. She said she's more afraid of the Andersons and the Hales than she is of the truth. She showed us her weakness. It doesn't feel like weakness, Anna whispered. It feels like she just won. She only wins if we quit, Mary said. She reached across the table and touched Anna's hand. She gave you an order. Stay away from Ethan Hale. She said that because she believes Jessica's lie. She believes you are the problem. She thinks you'll harass him. I know. She also thinks you're weak. She thinks we are weak. She thinks we'll be so scared of losing that scholarship that we'll just go home and cry. She thinks we'll let those rich kids get away with it. Mary leaned in. She's wrong. Anna looked at her mother, seeing the fire in her eyes. What do? We can't. We can't tell anyone. It's just our word. No, Mary said. It's not. There was a third person in that garden. Anna's hand instinctively went to her pocket, to the card. Mom, I can't, Anna said, her voice pleading. You heard her. Do not contact him. If she finds out, she'll expel me for sure. She'll say I disobeyed a direct order. She gave you an order based on a lie, Mary said, her voice firm. It is an unjust order. You do not have to follow an unjust order. You have a right to the truth. But what if he doesn't answer? Anna asked. What if he agrees with them? What if he thinks I'm drama? He gave you his number, Anna, Mary said. He waited for you. He saw you with me in the hall. He told you that you were strong. Does that sound like a boy who thinks you're drama? Anna was silent. He is the only one who can fix this, Mary said. He is the only one Mrs. Davies will listen to. He is the only one they are all afraid of. So I'm just using him? Anna hated the idea. No, Mary said. You are not using him. You are informing him. You are giving him the truth. What he does with it is his choice. But he has a right to know that his name is being used in these lies. He has a right to know that a school's headmistress is threatening a girl's future to protect his family's money. Mary's logic was like a fortress. It was built on truth. It left no room for fear. Okay, Anna said. The word was small, but it was solid. She pulled out her phone. The screen was cracked in one corner. She looked at the small white card. Ethan. She opened a new text message. Her thumbs hovered over the keyboard. What do I say? The truth, Mary said. Short, clear, and dignified. No begging, no anger, just the facts. Anna took a deep breath. She began to type. This is Anna. From the Anderson party on Saturday. She paused, read it. It was a good start. I am sorry to bother you. Jessica and Tyler are telling the school that I stalked you in the garden. She showed it to her mother. Mary nodded. Keep going. Because of this rumor, the headmistress, Mrs. Davies, threatened to revoke my scholarship today. She said I was a disturbance and ordered me not to contact you. Anna's hands were shaking. This felt like jumping off a cliff. My mother and I just met with her. She repeated her threat. I know you said to call if I had trouble. This is that trouble. She hesitated. She didn't want to sound weak. She thought of her grandfather. She deleted the last line. She tried again. I am telling you this because my mother said you had a right to know the truth. And because my future at this school is now at risk. I do not expect you to do anything. But I could not let these lies stand unanswered. Thank you for your kindness in the garden. Anna. She read it over. And over. It felt right. It was strong. It was honest. That's my girl, Mary said, her voice soft. Anna took one last, shaky breath. She pressed send. The little blue message sat there on her screen. It said delivered. Now they waited. They sat in the coffee shop. They drank their cold tea. Neither of them spoke. 1 minute passed. It felt like an hour. 5 minutes. 10. Anna stared at the phone. Nothing. He's not answering, she whispered. He thinks I'm crazy. He regrets giving me the number. Oh, Mom, this was a mistake. No, Mary said. It wasn't. Have patience. He's a 17-year-old boy. He's probably doing homework. Or, Anna's phone buzzed on the table. It was so loud in the quiet shop that they both jumped. Anna's heart stopped. She looked at the screen. It was not a text. It was an incoming call. The name on the screen was simple. Ethan. Anna's hand was frozen. Her mother's eyes were locked on her. Answer it, Mary said. Anna pressed the green icon. She put the phone to her ear. Her hand was shaking so badly she almost dropped it. Hello. Her voice was a dry whisper. Anna. Ethan's voice was not what she expected. It wasn't calm or sympathetic. It was low, tight, and energized. It was the sound of controlled anger. Where are you right now? He asked. I'm at the coffee shop. On Main Street. With my mom. The one 2 blocks from the school. Yes. There was a muffled sound. It sounded like he was in a car. He was speaking to someone else. It's 2 blocks away. He came back on the line. Anna. I'm on my way. My father is with me. Anna's knees went weak. She gripped the table. You're your father? He was here when I got your text. Ethan said simply, as if this explained everything. We're 2 minutes away. Go back to the school. Go to Mrs. Davies' office. Wait for us there. But, she threatened. She told us to leave. She'll see us, Ethan said. The words were a flat promise. Go. We'll be right behind you. The line went dead. Anna stared at the phone. She looked at her mother, her eyes wide with a mixture of terror and disbelief. He's coming, Anna said. He's bringing his father. Mary's face, which had been so tight with worry, suddenly resolved. A deep, slow calm settled over her. She stood up and put her coat back on. Then we'd better not keep them waiting, Mary said. They walked out of the coffee shop, leaving their cold tea on the table. The second walk to the school was different. The night air didn't feel as cold. Anna wasn't walking into a fight she would lose. She was walking into. She didn't know what she was walking into. But she was not alone. They walked through the front doors of Northwood Prep. The main hall was still empty. The light in Mrs. Davies' office was still on. Mary knocked on the door. Harder this time. Mrs. Davies opened it. Her face was a mask of pure fury. I told you to leave this campus. This is insubordination, Mrs. Miller. I will have security. We were told to wait for him here, Mary said. She stood in the doorway, blocking the headmistress. Told by whom? I am the head of this. That would be me. The voice came from the end of the hall. It was not loud, but it silenced everything. It was a voice that did not know how to be ignored. Mrs. Davies froze. Ethan Hale walked toward them. Beside him walked a man who looked like an older, more formidable version of his son. He was tall, dressed in a perfectly tailored dark coat. His hair was gray at the temples. His eyes were the same as Ethan's, but they held no trace of youthful doubt. This was Robert Hale. He did not look at Mrs. Davies. He looked at Mary, and then at Anna. You must be Anna, Robert Hale said. His voice was polite, but it held an unnerving stillness. Yes, sir, Anna whispered. And you are Mary. He nodded to her mother. Mrs. Davies finally found her voice. She was utterly transformed. The angry tyrant was gone, replaced by a fawning, nervous host. Mr. Hale, what a surprise. We weren't expecting you. Please, come in, come in. Robert Hale's cold gaze finally landed on her. I'm sure you weren't. They all filed into the small office. It suddenly felt very crowded. Anna and Mary stood against one wall. Ethan stood by the door. Robert Hale took the center of the room. Mrs. Davies rushed to get behind her desk, as if it were a shield. To what do we owe the pleasure? Mrs. Davies asked, her voice high and unnatural. We are here, Robert Hale said, because my son received a very disturbing text message. One that claims you are using my family's name and a potential donation to threaten a student's scholarship. Mrs. Davies's face went white. Mr. Hale, that is a gross misrepresentation, she stammered. It was a simple, student social matter. A disturbance. I was merely trying to protect your family's privacy. This girl, she pointed at Anna. She was harassing your son. I was handling it. No, Ethan said from the door. She wasn't. My son, Robert Hale continued, his voice dangerously quiet, tells me he was the one who gave Anna his number. He tells me Anna was the victim of a prank. He tells me that when he heard you were threatening her, he brought the information to me. Because that is what we do in my family. We do not tolerate bullies. And we do not tolerate liars. Mrs. Davies looked at Ethan, a look of pure panic in her eyes. Ethan, you're a child. You don't understand the delicacy. I understand that you threatened her, Ethan said, his voice as cold as his father's. I understand that you believe Jessica Miller and Tyler Anderson over her. And I understand that you did it for money. That is not true. Just then, Mrs. Davies's desk phone rang. The sound was shrill, making everyone jump. She looked at it, relieved for the distraction. Excuse me. Answer it, Robert Hale said. She picked it up. Mrs. Davies. Her face went from white to ashen. Mr. Anderson. Yes. Yes, he's here. I don't. Yes, of course. I'll wait. She hung up the phone. She looked like a ghost. That was Mr. Anderson, she whispered. He's on his way. With his wife. And their son. Good, Robert Hale said. They can all be here for this. The next 5 minutes were the longest of Anna's life. They stood in total silence. Mrs. Davies was trapped. She kept opening her mouth, then closing it. Finally, there were panicked footsteps in the hall. Tyler Anderson stumbled in, his eyes red. He was being pushed by his father, a large, angry-looking man. His mother, the same Mrs. Anderson who had insisted Anna work the party, was right behind them. And with them was Jessica Miller, looking like she had been crying. Robert, Mr. Anderson said, his voice breathless. I got your call. We came as fast as we. What is this? He saw Anna and Mary. His eyes narrowed. What is she doing here? They are here, Robert Hale said, to hear the truth. The truth is that girl harassed Ethan. Mrs. Anderson snapped. Tyler and Jessica told us everything. Is that so? Robert Hale's voice was smooth. Jessica, you told your parents that Anna was a stalker? Jessica, emboldened by her parents' arrival, lifted her chin. Yes, she was. She followed him into the garden. It was creepy. We had to make her leave. I see, Robert Hale said. He looked at his son. Ethan took his phone from his pocket. Jessica, Ethan said, his voice neutral. Do you remember what you sent me at 1:04 a.m. after the party? Jessica's face suddenly crumpled. She knew. I don't remember. Let me read it to you, Ethan said. He read from the screen. Ethan, I am so sorry for that prank. It was stupid. Tyler and I were just bored. Please don't be mad. And please don't tell your dad. It was just a joke. He looked up. The office was dead silent. He has a text, Tyler stammered, his voice breaking. Oh, Dad, he has a text. It was a joke. It was just a joke. Mrs. Anderson looked at her son and then at Jessica. The lie was exposed. The humiliation was absolute. You lied to us? Mr. Anderson yelled at his son. It was her idea. Tyler sobbed, pointing at Jessica. She made me do it. She said it would be funny. Robert Hale watched the scene with a quiet, powerful disgust. He let the chaos settle. Then he spoke. Mrs. Davies. The headmistress looked up, her face broken. My family's donation to your new science wing, Robert Hale said. It is, of course, cancelled. Mr. Hale, please, she begged. It was a mistake. A regrettable error in judgment. It was a failure of character, Robert Hale said. You were willing to destroy a young woman's future to secure my money. You have no character, and you will not be getting my money. However, he continued, I will be redirecting that full amount. He turned and looked at Anna. It will be used to create a new, protected endowment for this school. It will be called the Robert Miller Scholarship Fund. Anna's hand flew to her mouth. She looked at her mother. It will be named for your grandfather, Robert Hale said, his eyes softening as he looked at Anna. It will cover your full tuition and all expenses until you graduate. And after that, it will do the same for one other scholarship student every year. It will be administered by an outside board. You, he said, looking at Mrs. Davies, will have no control over it. And you will have no further contact with Miss Miller or her mother. Am I clear? Mrs. Davies could only nod, tears of shame and loss streaming down her face. The Andersons were silent. Their public disgrace was complete. Robert Hale looked at Mary. I apologize for what you and your daughter have endured. It should not have happened. Thank you, Mr. Hale, Mary said. Her voice was steady. My driver is waiting, he said. He nodded to his son, Ethan. He walked out of the office. The Andersons began arguing in loud whispers, grabbing their children. Jessica was crying. Mrs. Davies had collapsed into her chair, her face in her hands. Ethan stopped at the door. He looked at Anna. He didn't smile, but his eyes were warm. I'll see you around, Anna, he said. Good night, Ethan, she said. And, thank you. He nodded, and then he was gone. The room was suddenly empty, except for the wreckage. Anna and Mary turned and walked out. They left the noise and the anger behind them. They walked down the grand, empty hall. Just before they reached the front doors, Mary stopped. She reached out and touched Anna's cheek. Your grandfather, Mary said, her own eyes shining with tears. He would have been so proud of you tonight. He would have been proud of you, Mom, Anna said. They stood there for a moment. Anna was no longer the invisible girl in the uniform. She was her mother's daughter. She was her grandfather's relative. And she was strong. Mary took her hand. Come on, let's go home. And that's where we'll end the story for now. Whenever I share one of these, I hope it gives you a chance to step out of the everyday and just drift for a bit. I'd love to know what you were doing while listening. Maybe relaxing after work, on a late-night drive, or just winding down. Drop a line in the comments. I really do read them all. And if you want to make sure we cross paths again, hitting like and subscribing makes a huge difference. We are always trying to improve our stories, so feel free to also drop your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for spending this time with me.